Hello, everyone. Welcome to a live stream. Hope you're well. Oh, the title and the thumbnail is probably going to get people triggered. I do apologize. We need to talk about some realistic expectations because I look at this market and I think there's a lot of people that are genuinely going to get hurt. And we need to talk about the obvious in the room. I'm just getting some things up on my screen. So please let me know where you're from, what you're doing, what you're eating, all that kind of good stuff. And we will talk about the element of time, quite a lot of this, because I think people do think we're going to get rich overnight. And it does happen. There's very much a lottery ticket kind of element. But realistically, I think the cryptocurrency industry is going through an evolution, which is probably not going to help people. And people may not like that. And I understand why people don't like that. So, yeah, we'll get into it. We'll look at more things. I think there's a very different game going on with the world of cryptocurrency, and I will come on to it and I will make my point loud and clear. And we will talk about a lot of things today because, yeah, we'll see. Anyways, let's have a little look at the chat. Let's see who we've got this time. I know I'm a little bit late today because I had a lot of, well, some interesting things were happening before live streams. Basically, my dog's a bit silly, but hey. So who have we got? Gave up on HMRC. Yeah. HMRC is an interesting one. We can't not disregard how the world of cryptocurrency is when it comes to profits. And the fact that the profits are taken very, very quickly is pretty disgusting behavior, really. Anyways, we'll crack on. The Supreme Leader. Hello, Liam. How are we? I don't need to get mega rich. All I need to do, yeah, that's the mentality that people need to kind of figure out with altcoins is certain returns are good, but people are expecting a lot more. And that's where I think things may get a little bit sour this cycle. Just got a little hidden feeling. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how many views this live stream gets. Because the title is so obscure. It's going to change people's perception. But we'll see how things go. Bear with me. Let me just press the retweet button so people know I am live. I've not done that yet, to be fair. Because I am very unorganized today. So, shall we get into it? I think we should. I think we should. Let me know what you're holding. I want to know who's holding Bitcoin, who's holding altcoins. I want to know how long you've been in this cycle for. If you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments. But there's something in this market that's a little bit different to last time. And that's where I think we're going to get burned massively. Personal opinion. And let's just talk about it, right? So on me screen, we have stuff like this that is coming out. Now, if you've never used Bitcoin Lightning Network, you're going to be quite shocked at how quick it is. Now, I think this is bullish, but I think it's not the greatest for altcoins. I think when you think about XRP and other ones around settlements, everything comes back, and you can see that on the screen, to Bitcoin. The Lightning Network is the fastest network. If you've ever used it, you'll know this. It's ridiculously fast. Tether are massive, and they're not that far away from closing in on Visa's annual volume of 16 trillion. Total volume of Tether was 10 trillion on chain in 2024. That is huge. Now, this doesn't mean it's going to become a payment gateway straight away off the bat, but the fact that the ability to allow Tether to be used on the Lightning Network is very different to, say, Ethereum, which is slow. There's a bit of cost there. It's not ideal, right? So that again, it makes you wonder, well, where's everything going? I've mentioned in previous videos about, smart contracts potentially going onto Bitcoin. It's called OpCat. It was disabled in 2010 by Satoshi himself or herself, whoever entity Satoshi is. And now it looks likely to be coming back. So that then will allow a lot of things to happen. There's a random phone going off in my house and I don't even recognize it. That's really weird. Strange. So stuff like that is going to be very, very interesting where we go in terms of altcoin development. So this is one step forward. Obviously, as I say, with smart contracts, The dApps are going to be very much there, and you can do it. And so that'll put a big cloud on things. So that's one different dynamic to this for the previous cycle. The other dynamic is the fact that altcoins and these sort of videos that are constantly getting pumped out by people like this about all in on certain altcoins that you've probably never heard of. It's just a bit tiresome. And I think that's where people are going to go wrong. And there's many different elements of this in terms of psychological elements. And we talk about the obvious in the room. This is the 7th of November 2021, altcoins, right? There's some altcoins here that you're probably thinking, yeah, they're all right. They're obvious altcoins. But there's a lot on here that have also went massively down or no longer exist. That's the other side of it. There's a lot more altcoins now than there was back in these days. And people do disagree with me on this. I can't quite fathom why. But there's more altcoins, there's more layer ones, there's more layer twos, there's more DeFi, there's more of everything. Money isn't going to go around. That's the top and bottom of it, especially when Bitcoin's hogging it all. So obviously some of them better than others, some have not. Obviously Phantom's not doing as good at the minute because of their update. Obviously you got Hedge your hash graph currently here that's doing much better than what it was in the previous cycle. There's stuff here that are like really on the floor. And it's like, okay, cool. Where do we go next? Well, that's the thing. Remember when there was hype around Cardano? That's no longer hyped up at all. Waves, Engine, Chili's, do they ever come back? And that's the thing. So it's interesting to know, and I would love to know your opinion on it. But the way I look at it, new things, I wouldn't even say new things, just better things just out-trump them. So when we talk about cycles and we talk about like bull markets, bear markets, whatever, right? And I think the main reason why people are going to miss out this cycle is because 1, you didn't buy the lows. 2, you're probably buying the wrong thing. And 3, you're not looking at the obvious, which is probably Bitcoin, realistically, right? So total market cap. Let's look at the total market cap. Obviously, this will be the massive weight because of obviously Bitcoin. When you look at, say, the total 3, when you remove Ethereum off this, we're still here. We're still at that point where actually we can buy altcoins at a decent-ish price. However, the caveat to this is, will they moon? And that's where I think it's going to hurt a lot of people. Will they moon? Will they go up? Will they perform versus BTC better over a period of time? And that's where I think, again, the main caveat to all this is where people will get really burned is that. Literally that. And I know, the thumbnail really, really spooks you. But no one wants to be told, I'm not going to make mega life-changing money. Because when I look at the top 50, the top 100, is there many that are going to do like a 3, 4x in the BTC pair? Probably not, no. Not many. Why? They've all had high dilutions. Most assets that are in that top 50, top 100 have got dilutions that have happened over the previous cycles. Polkadot, 18% inflation for most part. 18% new coins getting released every single year. It's going to just gradually, chip away. It's going to hurt. Same with Dogecoin, same with other assets as well. Even XRP's had a real struggle over the last couple of years. It's finally got its shekels off. But it doesn't mean that XRP is going to change your life and going to go up like 5, 10x in the BTC pair, because it's probably going to be very, very, very unlikely. Whereas in previous cycles, it would have happened because there was a lot less assets, a lot more, liquidity going around for them assets to then pump. That's where people forget things. I know for some people, you don't want to hear this, but you've got to pick very wisely. You got to find the hype, you got to find the community, you got to find a use case that could be of interest. So for me, I'm going to do a video. Let me know if you want to see a video of my full portfolio in terms of what I'm doing and where I am in terms of my portfolio. I am very, very, very attached to my Bitcoin. Rightly so. A lot of people probably in this chat will be the same. If you bought Bitcoin at the lows or 5, 6 years ago, you're probably thinking, why would I want to sell my Bitcoin right now? You probably wouldn't. That again is another mindset that's different. Previous cycles, you probably didn't have a lot of Bitcoin because you had altcoins. Said it in the last live stream. If I literally played this cycle like last cycle, I'd be destroyed right now. But that's just how the market's evolved. But why has it evolved? Well, we could talk about maybe the ETF. The ETF's been a massive factor in terms of where money's coming through. It's all going through Bitcoin currently, which is interesting. Again, we've obviously got this side of it. Mentioned it before. It all comes back to Bitcoin. Does it? Where will that money flow to? And that's the thing, we don't know. We cannot say for certain, oh, Solana's going to go up loads. I think Solana will, personal opinion, because the dominance of Solana is only 3.3% of the market. Will that go much higher? I think so, yes. Will Ethereum go lower? Well, maybe. How much of a dent will that take with Tether being used through the Lightning Network versus, say, Ethereum or Solana or whatever? Who knows? Obviously, XRP dominance has gone through the roof a little bit, now 5%. Will XRP, will Solana flip Ethereum? Well, if Ethereum doesn't sort its life out, it may well happen. And then that might lead to not much happening in the altcoin space. I know, bearish, but hey, it is what it is. Other things to mention, the dollar is still high. So that's interesting. That needs to change. The quantitative easing may have to come in. Pump some liquidity into the market. But where will that liquidity go? Well, will it go into Bitcoin? Will it go into altcoins? Will it go into other markets? We don't know. We do not know. So it's very much an interesting point to note that, you know, people coming into this space, going off the past and going off how these videos are going to catch you and get you in, or if you buy at the top. So you got to remember as well, the other narrative is very simple. Bitcoin goes high, your USD prices look great, people come back and they buy potential tops, potential areas of real dicey areas, but hoping it goes higher. And then we get more bag holders. Then we've got other situations of previous cycle bag holders. Are they going to come back? Well, we don't know. A lot of people say that. So I think there's that situation. The other situation as well, the altcoins that you do pick do well. Not everything. Not nowhere near. Not everything will do well. We all know that. You know, we can't be silly about it. We can't be the type of person to say we're going to make loads of money because it happened in the last cycle. That doesn't work. The big thing that we've got to look at is the fact that, well, what about if you pick a real good winner, right? A real good winner, and you fumble your bag straight away? You've got to think about time. Time is absolutely key here. And I think, you know, it's mad to think how when you're thinking about time, cryptocurrency's only been around for, you know, if you argue altcoins, some of them are like 2-3 years old. If you look at Bitcoin, obviously, on an open market, 13 to 15 years old. You know, that's where it's scary. Where can we go in the future? And I think the more that you're in the market, the better it gets. That's the ultimate thing. But how many altcoins will die? Well, that's the ultimate question. We don't know. That's the big thing. So we'll see how how things do progress over time with technology. But I can see in the chat, 99.9% of coins are absolute top. Yeah, they are. Like half the old coins that you're looking at, they don't need a token. They don't need a token at all. It's just technology. It's just a blockchain. It's just a thing. And sometimes they're on another blockchain like Ethereum. Well, why do they need it? Well, they don't. Just build a website, build a revenue mechanism there. You know, that's another thing. There's too many altcoins. And then they make an altcoin because they got hype because they know that the teams and the VCs will get rich off it. That's another thing. How many people are going to rotate around it? Well, quite a lot. So you got to look at that as a factor. There's so many things here at play, which is going to like sting a lot of new investors and even old investors because they're just going to go do through the old playbook and it's going to hurt because they've bought something that's a bit random. And that random thing is not perfect in itself. But yeah, let me know what you think. I mean, I could be wrong with a lot of things, but at the same time, though, it's an issue. The issue is, are we going to get trillions of dollars of liquidity flying through this over a 9-month period and everything's going to go moon? No, nowhere near. Not everything's going to go moon. And that's, I think, where people are going to get caught. And the people that come into the market, they'll buy the tops. They'll buy something very, very toppy, potentially. I'm just looking at YouTube at the minute, seeing what is happening. View count's very low today. Probably because of the video, to be fair. Unless someone else is big going live. No one big. So yeah, I just don't want people to get absolutely stung by just watching other people on YouTube and ultimately getting battered by false promises, because there is some horrible videos out there at the minute that are literally saying in February these coins are going to 15x. There's a good chance it's not. Now, the caveat to the bullish side of this is obvious. We've got stuff like Slingshot, which I mentioned before. We've got Moonshot. We've got other meme coin kind of platforms that are very, very accessible. You got that side of it. Are people just interested in meme coins and that speculative gambling instead of long-term investing? Again, we mentioned time. What if, like, in, say, 10 years' time, right? And this is not even a joke. 10 years' time, right? What if XRP, maybe Solana, couple of other chains and projects that are relatively decent are in the mainstream eye, and they get a lot of interest, and not just because of investors, just because people are using them. That again could be validation, and it could do well, like what we're getting now with Bitcoin. So when you look at the past of all these corrections and how horrible they've gone for a lot of these altcoins, the reality is here, it's just a part of the game. We've got to get rid of a lot of the shite. Basically, that's the top and bottom of it. I don't know. We've got 10 million plus tokens. I know there's a lot of meme coins here. But when you think about the top 500, no one's investing in all of them. Let's be honest. It's not like the stock market. Nowhere near. So that's going to be the fun part of it. So we need to be very, very mindful of it. And I talked about my Learning Crypto live stream this morning about like certain coins. And people do suggest them quite a lot. But dino coins that have gone around and around the block so many times, they're not going to keep pumping, especially when they've only got like, when you think about Bitcoin, right, as a $100,000 and your altcoin hasn't done anything in that time period, you've got to kind of question, well, what's happening? That's where the problem lies. There's stuff that is happening, but there's stuff that isn't. Look at Dash, for example, right? One of the top performing assets around in the previous cycles. It's on every exchange, done fantastic in the past, but it didn't do anything in the last cycle versus the first cycle. What's going to happen this cycle? There's a very, very good chance, probability-wise, it's not going to pump again. That's where we're at. And I think a lot of people will return to this market when the market's hot. They will try and get into these coins. They'll just get destroyed. They will just get destroyed because no one is interested. I mentioned, was it Phantom? What's it changed to? Is it Sonic? What has happened here, by the way? I will look at the chat in a minute. I will engage. I'm not ignoring everyone. So that's Phantom. Right, let me just... I don't know if that's any good or not. Is anything... What's gone wrong here? Does anyone in the loop know what's happened? Obviously, I'm not keen on all these rebrands. It just annoys me. I like the website, don't get me wrong. It's a nice looking website, but the fundamentals of a rebrand, it used to always pump the market, and it feels like certain things do just happen like that, and it kind of scares me when they do it. What else is rebranded recently? Was it Matic? That's rebranded over to Polygon officially for the first time in a while. Yeah, I just need to be careful with stuff. Look at that. I mean, down here. This was like a top 10 coin not too long ago. It's mad, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. So yeah, leave a like if you're enjoying the doom and gloom today. It's not too bad, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to hopefully tell people that this is not going to change your life. I don't think it will. I think the days of that has happened, unless like you are dollar cost averaging very, very hard into some really solid like assets like Bitcoin, and you've done it for a long, long time, and you're steady with it. That probably will. Dollar cost average wise, that's actually pretty good. Problem is, no one wants to do that now. I'm hoping for a 10x on my portfolio to survive. 10x is going to be... It's possible, just depending on what you buy. That's what I mean. Like, if you've got like a couple of low caps that do well, and you've got a couple of good averages on certain things, and if Bitcoin, if you've got a good entry on Bitcoin, it may well happen. Problem is, it's few and far between. I think a 10x of an overall portfolio would be quite hard to achieve in a market like today, especially where we are, unless you bought like right at the lows, like proper lows, low lows. Been in crypto since 2012 and still not rich. Long story. Bloody hell. Did you lose it all? Did you put it on Silk Road or something? That is quite common for a lot of people I've spoken to. But then again, I could argue the same thing with me because I lived off Bitcoin for quite a while. I lived off it when it was at the low, so a lot of my Bitcoin that I had, I've actually like lived off, bought houses with, and stuff like that. So if I did that today, it'd be different. I'd have to spend a lot less Bitcoin, but it's just the way it is, isn't it? Ultimately. Started in August 2023 with Engine. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I saw the first pump in early 2024 and didn't sell. Yeah, round tripping is very, very common. I think the problem we have with that psychological element, and when we look at Injective did a fantastic move, but it also nosedived very, very quickly in the BTC pair, right? So the emotional side is if you bought it early and you made a load of returns, sweet. But at the point of like this, you're like, it's going to keep going forever. We're not even in a bull market yet. Like Bitcoin hasn't moved yet. And then obviously when Bitcoin did move, it took this the other way, and it's like, oh. So the BTC pair of this looks absolutely disgusting because it's like corrected heavily. There you go. Look at that for a correction. Rumph. Goodness me. So as Bitcoin went one way, that went the other. And yeah. Whether this is the bottom or not, maybe. That'll be good if it is, and we go up and retest these levels. It could be a nice little return. I did our analysis on that last live stream. It's just depends. What else have we got? I'm newish to Bitcoin, but first crypto in October 2023. All altcoins didn't. I didn't understand BTC. I do now. I do plan to buy BTC, and then so that's good that you understand now. I think a lot of people in their first cycle go through a period of absolute death and it's horrible. But the quicker you understand what Bitcoin is and altcoins and stuff like that, it's much easier. The problem is people just look at altcoins and they think, oh, they're going to multiply. Not always. The BTC pair is the key thing to understand. If you can buy when dominance is high and when the BTC pairs are low, there's a much better chance of making money. Realistically, that's kind of the game. The problem is, when do you buy? October 2023 isn't a bad entry point, whereas someone buying in October 2024, probably a lot worse entry point, because that was when the market was kind of ramping up a little bit towards that, Donald Trump election sort of situation. We kind of went and broke up into the new levels. People that bought there, problem. Alison, I just need to grow my BTC for alts. Yeah, I think there's definitely a way of growing them, but I think people will get misled in terms of how far they go. I've been saying this for a while. When you look at a lot of these pairs and how low they are, I don't think they're going to do like a 5, 10x like previous cycles. When we think about like obviously Ethereum here, yeah, we can go and retrace some of these numbers quite nicely over the course of time. But is it going to do like moves like this? And this is what I'm, trying to articulate. Days of like this for like sort of Ethereum or Solana or whatever are probably over, where it's gone boom, XRP as well. What we're probably going to start seeing is a nice little slow trickle to the upside, and then all of a sudden it just stops. And they happen over an 8 to 10 to 12-week period on alt season, right? It's all about having the nerve to sell into Bitcoin. Now, with me, the start of the year, I held NIA. NIA protocol did very well for me. So I was buying down at these lows here. I was thinking, bloody hell, this is low, like all-time low levels, at $1 levels. And I sold up here because I saw this level thinking, it's a gift. It's like a 3x of my Bitcoin. In that time period, if you look at what the price of Bitcoin was in May, which was, I don't even know, what was the price of Bitcoin in May? Around $63,000, give or take around here, depending on where you are. We then obviously made more. So I 3x my Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin went up in value and doubled in value nearly. So that's where the game is. It's always collecting those Satoshis. And I think people forget that part of it. So when you're looking at these BTC pairs and you're looking at it thinking, oh, wow, I mean, Polkadot, that looks so fair value. But you forget 18% inflation, which has kicked this down the road every single year. Not to mention the fact of other elements of spending. Will it do like a 10x? Probably not. So for that to do a 10x from here, has to go right up to the kind of levels all the way up here. Very, very, very unlikely unless something massive happens and everything changes. But I find that very, very unlikely. So people will look at like, the fact that it's going to go, is it going to go to $55, for example, previous all-time high? Well, realistically, you'd think that because Bitcoin's doubled in price nearly, you'd think it'd be much easier to do it. But it isn't the case because 18% inflation of new coins added every single year over a 3-year period, nearly pretty much. It's a lot more tokens to play with. It's a big, massive headwind. And this is again another situation why people are looking at this thinking, wow, look at these previous prices, we're going to get over there. Not very many do. And that's where the problem lies. And it's like, you need to buy the obvious, but ultimately you need to buy ones that are fully diluted, they're really low, they catch a bid, and they do multiples. But the multiples may only be 3 or 4x potentially in the BTC pair. That's not bad, don't get me wrong. But obviously Bitcoin also needs to go up as well at the same time, and hopefully that makes your USD value look even better. So when we look at, say, Polkadot, and we look at today's prices, even going up to, say, the start of 2024, to 244% move. Now, if I added 244% to the actual price of $6.30 of Polkadot, people would be very, very disappointed. But I would think that that would be quite a decent first base, may go higher. But in the past, we've seen all these little relief runs. They've struggled to get anywhere near 200% in the past on these little mini alt season. That was an alt season. This was a one at the end of the year, right? Nothing crazy. So this is where it gets a bit hard. And obviously, the lower it goes, the more returns. And it depends on how ballsy you are with moving your Bitcoin into these assets. But it's going to be very, very, very interesting to see where we go next. in my honest, humble opinion. There's lots of chat here. This could be fun. It could be a really fun live stream. Just people are not interested because it's so bearish. I like a bearish video. I like to put people in the place a little bit, just to kind of think of new ideas. I like to challenge people sometimes. Never bought BTC when I should have. People said there was more gains, no coins. Well, too bad I didn't find this chat. That's the thing, right? And I don't want to blow my own horn, but I've been saying for like years, Bitcoin dominance is key, holding Bitcoin's key, and understanding when to buy and when not to buy. That's the thing. And investing isn't about making money, funny enough. It is for some people, but the reason why we invest is to not lose against inflation, is to keep wealth, to grow wealth over time. People go and sell altcoins and they think, I'm going to get rich quick. I'm going to buy this meme coin, I'm going to get rich quick. Chances are you lose. Good chance, you're just gambling. Don't get me wrong, my picks over the bear market weren't great. I openly admit that. But I didn't blow myself up by being silly. The problem we have is people are not thinking about time. If everyone was dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin over the course of a bullish momentum period, you'd be up quite a lot now. I've been doing this since September as a dollar cost average challenge in my Patreon. It's up 45% currently. I've only started in September by putting $250 per month, no, per week, sorry, every Sunday into it. I'm nearly as good as Michael Saylor here. I'm amazing. But he's got billions to play with, I don't. So again, it's all about finding that momentum. It's about keeping wealth, not blowing it up. And yeah, it is the way it is. And then you get, I'm seeing it in the chat, you're already seeing people talk about Cardano ripping it. Like at the end of the day, right, with Cardano and Polkadot and AVAX and Chainlink or whatever random example, it gets very, very, very tribalistic. And then people get very, very pissy when you like don't talk about it or you sell it or whatever. It's like, why? Who cares? We're here to make money in some way, shape, or form. We're here to keep wealth in some way, shape, or form. We're here to do something over time. Not, I've got the biggest bollocks, I hold for longer. It doesn't work like that. The crypto bro side of it's changing very, very quickly. So yeah, we'll go from there. How can you say that if ADA was 3 cents and it's now nearly $1? So with that, with Cardano in the previous cycle, now I made a lot of money on this in the previous cycle. I was unbelievably fortunate, like properly fortunate. This just shows you how strong Bitcoin's growing. When we talk about a $5,000 Bitcoin at these levels of Satoshis on Cardano, it was about 3, 4, 5, 6 cents of Cardano. These were all-time lows. The luckiest boy in the world was me buying this in that last cycle. I sold it much, much higher, but it didn't go to the top. I was happy with that gain. Problem is, when we look at this now, this is showing you how scary the power of Bitcoin is. At these lows, we are only 200 sats away from current live prices, which is mad, which is currently, no, sorry, we're higher than that. With nearly double, pretty much nearly double. 450, 934 currently, right? So when we talk about how this went so crazy, current live prices, we're here, roughly around here. If we're going to go over to the side, we're there. So with that situation is, well, look at how much people would have round tripped their bags in the BTC pair. Now, don't get me wrong, I sold on one of these pumps quite early, but it was a ridiculous pump. Obviously, yes, you can fumble your bags, you can go even higher. But the reality is here, if you make Bitcoin, that's a key point. Problem is, people are going to look at this as a cheap Cardano. Yes, it is cheap, but prior to the last cycle, it's 3 cents here. Now what is it? It's like dollar levels. It's a hell of a markup. It's a hell of a change. It's a hell of a difference. So that's another situation. Yes, it's low in BTC. Yes, you can grow your Bitcoin. Yes, you can go to these levels. Cool, whatever. But $3, $4 Cardano versus 3, 4 cents. There's not much difference in price here. That's what's scary. Shows you the power of Bitcoin going from 5,000 to 100K. So I think, again, another trip up is very obvious there, unfortunately. I think the time to buy was 2 years ago, 100%. 100%. Look, I talk about this quite a lot on my channel. People get bored of it, but we've been in this market performance low since, cycle for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a market, remember? We've been in it, we're already here. We're not going to go to 2026 in the bull market. We're going to probably stop around September, October, November time, in my opinion. Maybe depending on how big the pumps are. If we're going to copy the prior cycle and Bitcoin here, what if we do a big pump? What if, the end is in the summer? Selling may go away and the liquidity doesn't return. We don't know what's going to happen, right? There's a lot of indicators to tell us, well, last mania cycles. Last year the 4-year cycle equals mania cycle, which is where we are right now, which is why Bitcoin's still at $100K. $100K, $100,000 plus Bitcoin. Get my words out, Ash. Come on. So yeah, it's timing is key. Time is key. Being in the market is key. Not time in the market is key sometimes because you get it wrong. Can't keep going down forever. We're due a slingshot. Of course, a QE doesn't need to return for a run. Yeah, I think catching bids on a lot of things will happen. It'll get people excited, but again, it'll be certain things that will happen. Not everything will happen. That's the key. Too many altcoins at the end of the day. Thoughts on Chainlink? Not too keen on it, to be fair. Good plumbing. Doesn't need a token. Personal opinion. VeChain is a lot bigger project than people give credit. It's huge, I believe. I think VeChain is the mass retail coin in Asia. It does do very, very well. I've seen that before, previous cycles. So stuff like that could be massive. The problem is, will people look at it? Is there other new shiny objects that people will get down the rabbit hole of with VCs and stuff? Maybe, who knows? But we'll see where things go. But yeah, we'll be fine. Can you dive a little deep into the XRP fundamentals? The fundamentals, there isn't any good fundamentals for XRP, I don't think. It's ran by a very centralized company. It's had many years to prove itself, and it has. But will it make millions? No. Many people forget, and I've already alluded to it, the Bitcoin Lightning Network is faster than XRP settlement. That's on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's more secure. That's going to be a bit of a problem. XRP is probably a good stronghold, though, for like cryptocurrency elements with its speed and the fact that it could do a lot of settlements, but depends when you buy. If you bought this a year ago, sweet. If you bought that last week, rest in peace, because I just don't think, it's going to change your life. I held Ripple, or when it was Ripple back in the day, back in 2017, and I sold it pretty well. I got a little bit of a kick out of it. I got a little bit of a move, but I didn't get in the big move. But I think personally, that destroyed part of the market quite significantly because a lot of people got destroyed on it. So when we're talking about this big pump here, like we're talking silliest of pumps ever, like this, the amount of people that got in on this all the way down to the floors. And this was when Tether wasn't really a thing on exchanges and people just lost loads of Bitcoin. And then we had that second spike and then retail got in on it. It was absolutely baffling how crazy this got, by the way. Unbelievable move. And then over the course of time, it just bled into nothing. That's where you get problems with the market because FOMO, people get in, people don't know how to get out. They think they're going to get rich. They're watching different charts and they think they're doing well in XRP now because the price has gone up. But the only reason being the price of Bitcoin's changed massively. So when we're talking about, when XRP was like $3, it was 18,000 Satoshis. It's over $3 now just, and it's 2,000, or it's nearly 3,000 sats. That's a hell of a difference in price. So that's the big problem with it. It's not going to probably become a massive wealth builder. It isn't. It'll do all right. Don't get me wrong, but there's still some really daft price predictions out there that are going to claim that this is going to go to what, it's already $178 billion value currently. Could maybe do a 2 or 3x. Full dilution's 300 billion, by the way. So we can't get too caught up in that side of it because the amount of liquidity in this is huge. And think of all the bag holders. Think of all the people that would want to get out and make money here. There'll be loads of people holding that from years ago, which will go, I'm out. I'm selling. I've been holding this for 5 years. I've been holding this for 6 years, whatever. And they will easily go, you know what? I've been holding this since 2018. I've been holding this in 2019, 2020, whatever. I'm out. So yeah, but in terms of the fundamentals of XRP, speed just doesn't cut it. Doesn't cut it at all. My opinion, of course. Got to be more than that. It's got to become a store of value, and that isn't. What else? We're blowing on the BTC deed. Yeah, we need that to come down. The BTC dominance chart does need to eventually come down. The reasoning regarding the amount of altcoins is irrelevant. Look at the market caps of all these alts. Most of them are insolvent in the data. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter though. You've still got options. You've still got flashing lights and content creators and everything trying to blow smoke up things' asses. But there will be people that are like, I'm never going to come back to that asset again, or I do not want to buy that because I think it's going up too much. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is key. I don't want to buy Bitcoin because it's too expensive. It's not going to make me money. They'll buy an altcoin that's literally bleeding because there's no liquidity in it. Or they've been told off of YouTube, oh, you should buy this because it's going to make you a 15x in three weeks. Ooh. Yeah, I don't agree. Do you use coin market charts to account for token inflation? Sometimes, yeah. Depends. The thing is, keeping up to date with with the fact of like token inflation, it changes all the time. Some assets are like 7 or 8, some are like 15, some are less, more, whatever. Keeping up to that, up to it. Is Lightning Network really fast on X? Yeah, it is. Try it. It's unbelievably fast. It's instant. Your mic is a bit soft. I have my laptop on speak. Buy new speakers. Don't just use laptop speakers then. Come on now. Get better gear. Does Solana outperform Ethereum in alt season? I think it would. With Solana, what is interesting with Solana anyways, especially 100%, it's only 3.3% of the market currently. Obviously, Ethereum is much higher. This is probably going to catch up. XRP will probably do the same, actually, to be fair. With Ethereum, it looks like that. That is the dominance of Ethereum. It's just slowly bleeding. Probably go up here a little bit and then pull back. But look at where Solana is. Potential breakouts to even higher. Oh, that's where it gets interesting. So there's a big narrative there that, well, maybe XRP gets flipped by, not XRP, sorry. Ethereum gets flipped by a couple of things. Looks like XRP is going to be used by a lot of the big banks. They are currently working. Yeah, but banks are banks. It doesn't. What banks provide is settlement and money transfer. But does that make the asset go up? Why do they need XRP as a token if that's going to be the case? They don't. They just use technology. That's where a lot of people with altcoins quite fathom over time. Why do we need all these altcoins? We don't, because if they can perform a blockchain a task, sorry, and they're getting paid for it as a company, which Ripple do, why do they need XRP token to speculate? They don't. They've got the other side of it, which is their little chain. But is there any meme coins on it? No. There's a couple. There was a little bit of a meme season, but nothing that like Solana, in my opinion. So that's where we've got to look at the next step. Can the likes of XRP build new tokens with their technology to make it even better for cryptocurrency investors or cryptocurrency users, for dApps, so people don't have to move chain? That's where they need to be. Why didn't they use BTC if it was faster? Because Lightning Network's brand new. It's pretty new. It's only been around for like 2 years, give or take. But now Tether's on it. That's huge. That's a massive. I don't think people realize how big of a development that is. But if you can be bothered, go and download like a Lightning Network wallet and send money to it. It's stupidly fast. What else we got? What are your feelings on runes right now? Good. Runes are certainly speculative, very, very speculative. There's a lot of developments happening. I think the thing is, people forget how many developments are happening with Bitcoin currently. There's a lot of new things coming, and I think people are like not aware of it. Runes are just one part of it. Ordinals are another. Taproot obviously getting more and more advanced. Obviously, Lightning Network's getting faster and faster and better. More users, more more service. The big problem you have with the likes of Runes is genuine UI, like people getting in, the lot size, which is a problem. So when you go on the likes of here, it's quite hard for a beginner. Whereas I think Slingshot, I mentioned it on one of my tweets yesterday, they're looking to build a platform for runes. And with Slingshot, it's username, password, deposit via Apple Pay /bank, get your Solana in there, get your Bitcoin in there, whatever. And then boom, that'll be where it'll get very, very interesting. And people are like very much like, oh, I don't want to use this because it's all different. There's also other developments happening on Magic Eden, certainly with lot size, which makes it better. But these are all pricing Satoshis. These probably will give you more return on your altcoins, in my opinion. But I wouldn't go down the crazy route. Just pick the obvious. If Dog gets a tier 1 listing, Christ, it'll probably go a bit bananas. Same with BDC. Pups is another one. They will probably do very, very, very well in the short term, but they are very cyclical, like stupidly cyclical. Like they are wow crazy. But hey, it is what it is. Why have we got an XRP maxi in my chat? Just Luke, just calm your tits. Calm your tits, mate. Calm down. Which is what I just said about it before. People get very tribalistic about coins. Just behave. No one cares. You like XRP. I use XRP. I quite like it. Doesn't mean I'm going to get rich off it. If you had to put your money in one narrative this cycle, what would it be? Oh, Bitcoin. The Bitcoin ecosystem. Runes, ordinals. That would be where I'd go, personally. I've played the altcoin game for 7 years now. I want to make Bitcoin. I would rather risk less Bitcoin and put them in a rune or an ordinal, because if you think about it in terms of logic, there's a lot of whales on Bitcoin. There's a lot of people that don't want to move chain on Bitcoin. If they enable that facility where they don't have to move chain and they just move it into another wallet on the same chain via whatever network, which is probably the Lightning Network or Taproot, whatever, easy. They don't have to trade. So that's my narrative, personally. There's other narratives as well that are pretty good, but I think we can't keep beating down the drum of DeFi. We can't keep beating down the drum of AI or, whatever it may be. That's the problem. The narratives always spin around very, very quickly, but ultimately they don't always run around the same way. Are we going to get a metaverse run? Are we going to get an NFT run again? We don't know. That's the thing. So there's a lot there, but they probably will come around again. A few months ago, you were buying. I wasn't buying Moonbeam a few months ago. Christ, I sold Moonbeam like last year, early last year. But hey, now you say altcoins. Well, no, let's be honest here. I haven't said that at all. I've said that the reason why people are going to get caught out this cycle is because you're picking ones that no one is interested in. Where are all the money? Where is all the money? It's in the top 10. Luke, I already am rich from Bitcoin. I bought in 2016. Mate, I bought at like $600. I don't have to play the altcoin game anymore. I'm done. I'm happy. This is why I say, like, a lot of people come to me and go, oh, but like I've been in the market for 5 years. I don't have to do anything. I was like, yeah, great. Congrats. That's brilliant. And then people kind of resonate with that thought going, he's right. Like if you bought Bitcoin 5 years ago, why do you need to be in altcoins? You don't. That's the thing. Because most altcoins have underperformed versus Bitcoin over the last 3 years. There's only about 10 or 12 at least that have done somewhat decent. That's telling. That's where we are. And that's why people can't grasp. And this is why people think I'm bearish, but the tail's in the tape, isn't it? It's literally here. It's like total 3/BTC, right? There's been no reason for you to hold altcoins from literally December 2022. If you look at that structure failure, that break, obviously you got other breaks here where it went down as well. But over the course of the BTC pairs, they've really nuked and it's just gone down, 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 down. Don't get me wrong, there will be a period where we will have an alt season where it will gradually go back up. But you've got to time your entries right. You've got to get in when there's capitulation, when you can see the sign of the dominance turning around, when you can see certain things happen in the market. But have we had any of them signs yet? No. As I said before, look at the Ethereum.D. Becoming a bit of a problem. I know people are like, oh, it's so bearish, but facts are facts. Data is data. Information's here. If XRP didn't do that, Bitcoin dominance would be about 64% right now. Because that was roughly, before that all popped off, it was about 1.4, 1.3, whatever percent. Now it's 5% of the market. That's a massive move. Huge move. And to be honest with you, a lot of the holders deserve that because they held through thick and thin, probably got web feet now, squelching in the boots because they were underwater for so long. The problem is you can't just keep, hoping things go higher, because they don't. Why are BTC options expiring today important? Every BTC expiration on the futures market's always important. It's just it's an emotional greed factor. Put it that way. People just get bit of news. Could be fun, might not be fun. BTC is the only crypto that has been number one this entire time. When you explain BTC pairs, it's an eye opener. Altcoins are only there to make more Bitcoin. Don't get married to the altcoins. Basically, yeah. People forget that the BTC pair is the actual price of your Bitcoin. So yeah, that's where people go wrong. It's like if you held XRP from a year ago for 5 years, or BTC. What? That doesn't make sense. The bigger gain. I don't understand why people think the bigger gains will come from XRP. Because when you look at the dollar value, there's plenty of videos on my channel which proves this, where if you hold a coin outright, you are bleeding Bitcoin. So then if basically you've underperformed Bitcoin over that period of time, it will be better to hold Bitcoin. So let me just prove this in a little simple test. XRP, right? XRP is probably a good example, actually. If you go back in time, and let's just say, right, this is where it's going to kick you in the ass. If you bought here, where the current live price is, but all the way in 2019, the price of XRP in 2019 was probably a lot lower. We should work out, really, shouldn't we? But essentially what would happen here is, because the Satoshi value of that has not changed, it would have been better for you to hold Bitcoin that entire time. Sorry, but that's just the reality of it. If you obviously bought earlier than that, you'd be down. But if you bought down here, you've won. If you bought down here, you've won. The whole price of every asset is that number there. This big, that Satoshi number. Put it in Google. Put in that many sat in USD. It would equal the current price of Bitcoin of XRP today. That's where people go wrong. That's how people lose it out. But people look at the dollar value. TJ, 2020, 22, 24, every YouTuber showing alts. 2025, Fed is still a QT and QP is showing on alts. It's a game of liquidity. Yeah, it is. Liquidity cycles. We are into that liquidity cycle now where liquidity will come. The problem is not going to be enough to go around. That's where the difference is this cycle. If you bought BTC and 1XRP a year ago and held both for 5 years, but then again, that's just putting the narrative in your own hands. It's only just overperforming Bitcoin over the last year. It's been around since 2024. No, 2014, sorry, 2013, 2014. So it's not exactly made massive. Like someone gave the argument the other day, which was funny, that if you bought XRP in 2014, you'd be rich right now. You wouldn't be. It was only up 200% in Bitcoin. Ethereum was up 11x. So actually, you should have bought Ethereum. Mad. Any thoughts on Rose? No shit. As soon as they rebranded to AI, that was me. I was out completely. Like, nope. Yeah, but if you bought Luke, if you bought at 30 to 50 cents, it depends on what the BTC price of that was. It depends on the date that you bought. Just because you made some USD, great, lovely, but look what Bitcoin's done over the course of the last 2 years, over the last 5 years. But people think, oh, it's going to outperform. The thing to look at is, what will XRP do here? Will it go up 200% up to these levels? Sweet. But will it then go back down and readdress these lows again? That's when you need to start considering what the hell to do. Because regardless of what Bitcoin does, regardless if Bitcoin goes, say, $500,000, yeah, it'll make everyone's altcoins look good in perception of USD. But if they're all on the floor and dominance is still high, well, doesn't make sense. It's like, just keep all the Bitcoin. Alt seasons are called alt seasons for a reason. You buy in the alt seasons, you sell when it tails off, you keep your Bitcoin, Bitcoin grows steadily over time, and then you rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. That's the whole point. The difference now is in this cycle is there's a lot less liquidity to go around because it's all in Bitcoin, not moving yet, and there's more altcoins to play with. There's more shiny objects, there's more meme coins, there's more this, that, and the other. And that's where people lose. And, look at what's done well recently. Sui, for example, right? Random example, doing fantastic, but it won't take much for this to reject here and go down. What about if Bitcoin pumps? Well, on perception, it still looks like it's doing well. Injective was exactly the same. Injective was a fantastic example, actually, of when you can see things tailing off. This tailed off massively on the 13th of March, give or take, 2024. And when we look at, like, say, the BTC pair of this, it started tailing off massively in the December because it nuked itself. But ultimately, the top of the USD chart was actually here. It's because Bitcoin pumped. Look at that for a level. Boom. Right the way back down to the start of the run. Ouch. So yeah. I've upset a lot of people, haven't I? It's quite fun having a debate, though. Any thoughts on Glimmer? No. I'm not interested in Glimmer, to be fair, these days. The thing is, we talk about partners, we talk about things, that and the other. It doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter at the end of the day. Most YouTubers saying 10 to 15, I only sold off some, profits have doubled. Yeah. To be honest with you, with YouTubers, right, and look at my title and thumbnail, the main reason why you won't get rich in crypto, it's there to kind of get people in. It's not worked because people are not interested and people don't like the topic. But if I did the other title of the reason why you'll make 15x in the next 12 days or something daft, you must buy this, people will come in. That's where YouTubers win. And I've talked about it many times on my channel. We look at crypto and we look at the type of altcoins to buy. I don't know, altcoin. Oh God, I can't even type. Altcoins to buy. It's all there to get you to click. It's fascinating. It really is fascinating. And don't get me wrong, I've done videos like this in the past, and it genuinely works. It gets you a lot of people. It gets a lot of people in. But people now are getting bored of it. 400, 500,000 subscribers, 500,000 subscribers here, 12,000 views, 15,000 views, right? Myself, 73,000, subscribers. If I do a video, I get about 5,000 views. If I do a live stream, about 3,000, 4,000, right? There's many people that have just given up and got destroyed, and they will come back. They will come back a certain time period. Start of this year, people came back to me. Weirdly, I got 10,000 extra subscribers. It just happened because some things went up in the market and people got interested again. People will eventually return. It's like, oh, hello. Hi. I remember buying this in like 2019. Ash, where did I hold that? Where did I buy that? Can you tell me where? I'm like, how the fuck do I know? Just the way it is. It's crazy. I love it sometimes. But yeah, it's. I'll be looking to accumulate more Bitcoin. Yeah, I think a lot of the things that people forget is you should have a core base structure of just Bitcoin on your portfolio, whether it's 50% Bitcoin and then 3 or 4 altcoin, just different things, like whether it is different, narratives or certain things, or just be heavier in Bitcoin, have a bit of Solana, and then trade altcoins and just play the hype. Don't worry about in terms of leverage or anything like that. There's a link to Blowfin if you want to get on spot. Put money in that account. Buy long on hype. Just a bit of hype. Like Sui, for example, recently, certain things have done really well recently. Buy it low, sell it high. EMA crossover, basic strategies, simple stuff like that. But that's a problem. It's like you then buy it at a spot, you lose out, you get married to it, and like, oh, but this YouTuber says it's going to go like, and then you start, myself included. Look, I was blinded by Polkadot for years. I was, it just happens. We all fall into it. Situation is, you just got to remember your risk management. Risk management is key, but that doesn't always work out very well, does it? Fundamentally. What else have we got? bought Hedra and Algo at absolute rock bottom. They're giving me very decent return, but honestly, buying Bitcoin have given me more returns. Yeah, that's the thing. Even Hedra, even Algorand, XLM. Yeah, like the daft thing is, on some things in that situation, you've actually would become, yeah, if I held Bitcoin, I would have been richer, which is baffling when you think about it, when you know, you put it in that sense. Ash, what's your view on how much is enough to retire? It depends on what country you're in, depends on what your passive income's like. For me, I probably could walk away tomorrow. I don't think I would though, personally. I think I'd be bored very quickly and I'd have nothing to do and I'll start doing silly things and start spending all my money. But yeah, it depends on your age as well. I love your BTC Maxi arc. I've always been a Bitcoin Maxi though. Even my logo's always had a Bitcoin in it at the end of the day in some sort of shape or form. I started in crypto in 2016 and I bought Bitcoin and I've lived off it. It's given me freedom. It's allowed me to quit my job. It's been an amazing thing for me. Could I have done stuff better? Yes. Could I have bought more Bitcoin at more lows? Yes. Should I have not quit my job as quickly? Yes. It's all that situation, but ultimately I got out of it, luckily. The problem we have is people look at Bitcoin and go, I'm not going to make loads of money here. And then they disregard it. But if you look at Bitcoin as like, I'm going to keep most of my money, it probably works out in a better situation. Do you believe BTCD is going to top out anytime soon? Yes. I think we're at that altcoin capitulation now. But as I say, those little narratives of meme coin seasons are only few and far between. They're very, very selective as well. That's where it gets harder. Niche bull markets, I call them, where like certain things like AI will pop off, or you know, was it AI agents and AI and stuff. And obviously, we had in the past cycles DeFi. We've had obviously meme coins, whatever, and they go boom and then they just fizzle out. So, oh, kind of hurts in that situation. But yeah, if you're not yet done so, please do, you know, subscribe to the channel. I'd find the subscribe button. I don't know. I've lost it all. I've lost it all. I've given up. I've given up. My brain's on fire today. But yeah, things are looking good though if you're positioned well for it. That's all I'm going to say. I just think people are going to get majorly caught out by this is going to pump, but it might not. Or it will, but in the USD pair. And it's only because Bitcoin's done like a massive move. But that might bring people in, and then the altcoin pairs might catch a bit, and they may well do a 2 or 3x, but then 2 or 3x for a lot of people is not enough. And then they don't sell. And then it's like, oh, cash out my altcoins BTC this cycle or cash out and rebuy. I'm doing both. I'm going to sell altcoins, what I've got, into BTC. I'll then manage that BTC when it goes obviously higher, then put it into Tether, and then from Tether, hopefully into something, you know, shorter term, more fun. Bitcoin at the lows, probably. There's nothing really I can do with Tether these days, is there? Let's be honest. You're married to the game. Yeah, 100%. Investing is a huge game. It's a life game. It's a methodology of life when you get into it. 14 USDT on Lightning, amazing. Love that news. This is the news. It's going to make it very, very interesting for the world. I think, like I said it before on this live stream, if you've not used the Lightning Network, go and check it out. It is stupidly fast. It's ridiculous. It's instant. Does BTC need to be bought today? Don't know. I don't know how much panic it's going to create. It probably won't do anything, to be honest with you. People just rebuy half the time. Anyways, appreciate everyone turning up. I'm going to shoot. I've been live for an hour. It's longer than normal. So yeah, appreciate everyone turning up. I'll be back on Monday.